inside the 30. Goff, deep again, wide open, making the grab and taking it. It is St. Brown. To the third.
And it's going on up front there with him on the lead.
Yeah, haven't needed much from St. Brown, though. There's a terrific receiver, 5 for 56. Dan Campbell. This team's now on 11 of their last 14.
The Lions destroy the Packers last night. Not a lot of real highlights, just a team that was better than the other team. 11 of the last 14. Lions improved to 3-1. This is interesting to see. The Daily Sports Podcast, news, narratives, takes, and gambling. It is a football Friday. Thursday Night Football wraps up with the Lions destroying the Packers 34-20. There was a bit of a ref show situation, and we will talk about that momentarily. They were at one point 27-3. They end up winning 34-20. The Packers try really hard to get some stuff going. They're just really young and not that good. Their defense is good. The Packers' defense is very good, and the offense being so bad is why the defense looks bad pretty clearly. College football slate this weekend is going to be pretty good. Not as last weekend we were all a little hungover. It was just too good, if you know what I mean. So let's up Thursday Night Football. Let's go to the ref thing. The Packers had a free play. The clock strikes 0. And then at the end of the third quarter, literally 0. And this is not a situation where the ref is supposed to look at the clock. You know how in delay of game, the clock strikes 0, right? And then the ref's like, okay, delay of game. Like, no, when it strikes 0, it's over. Apparently, this is not a reviewable situation.
Right now.
Look at this.
Yeah, Al, the clock clearly hit 0 before the ball snapped, and it's not treated like the play clock where there's somewhat of delay between shutting it down for a delay of game. Once the game clock hits 0, it's over. It should be shut down on the field by the officials.
Insane. The Packers go for, if you watch the replay, the play was good. There they are at about the 46-yard line, and then they throw it all the way to about where he goes down is about the 7 or 8. So like a 45-yard play. That should not have happened. They score a touchdown right there, and then Detroit runs it down their throat. Quay Walker, the linebacker for Green Bay last year, if you'll recall, on this program we talked about, he just about 7 days after Damar Hamlin died on the field and trainers saved his life, Quay Walker shoved a trainer for the Detroit Lions, acting like a tough guy. And in this game, Detroit attempts a field goal. Quay Walker takes a running jump over the snapper, and that's against the rules, and then they get a personal foul, and Detroit, instead of going for a field goal, gets a touchdown, makes it a 3-score game. So Quay Walker is, as a Lions fan, my favorite Detroit Packer. He's the man. I love him. Jared Goff on set of Thursday Night Football after Ryan Fitzpatrick, who was a journeyman and a C- starter and an A+ backup, had called Jared Goff a poor man's Matt Ryan. Jared had heard about this, and Jared is going to confront him man-to-man.
I thought I played better throughout the rest of the game. Hope it's up to your standards.
You played a lot. Okay. You played very well, dog.
Okay.
Very happy.
I didn't know it was a poor man's anything, but
he hears that. He's learned about it.
Yeah. It's funny, but it's also not funny. And so this is an interesting set for Jared Goff if you're watching. This is David Montgomery, who just wanted to beat the Packers. He ran the ball 30 times like an old school football running back for like 115 yards, like 3 yards a carry, 3 touchdowns. This is Ryan Fitzpatrick. This is man-to-man. Jared, I think, is a B+ to C+ starter in the NFL. Ryan, of course, significantly not as good. They're man-to-man. David Montgomery between them. This is Jared's former teammate. Super awkward because they were really good together. Then his team gets rid of Jared, and they win the Super Bowl with Matthew Stafford. This is Richard Sherman, who owns both of those guys. And this is Tony Gonzalez, who's a little older than all of them and significantly better looking. So, which is the only thing that you really know about Tony Gonzalez. So Jared calls out Ryan Fitzpatrick. Good for Jer Bear. Standing up for yourself. You love to see that kind of thing. Speaking of things you love to see, Matt LaFleur in the press conference, I saw someone on Twitter say, like, is he holding back tears in the halftime interview? Like, we got to play better. So here he is in the press conference. I heard he got testy. I'm not 100% sure how it went. I've not watched this clip, so let's find out.
What do you think happens when you have to cause the first half like that, where you got nothing?
We suck, Pete. We got our ass kicked. If I knew, it wouldn't have happened.
If I knew, it wouldn't have happened. Good call.
Matt, they didn't blitz until the
That's
last.
a BS question, man.
A BS question. So for the coach to be the leader of the team and then go in the media and understand like you're not the leader of the media, that is a difficult situation. Shall we look forward to football? We've got college football coming up, and let's go with a Travis Hunter. We got a story here. Travis Hunter, the best player in college football, and in my opinion, if I were still in college football media, and if I had a vote right now, Travis Hunter would be my leading candidate for the Heisman. He is very clearly the best player in college football. We'll see how that continues, but he's just, I mean, Colorado has like 4 or 5 really good guys, about 30 or 40 guys that are better than they've had in like 10 years, and then a bunch of guys that are not quite there. I definitely think that if Deion stays there for 5 years, they'll get to the point where they're sniffing the college football playoff, and especially when it expands to 12 teams. But right now, they have like 4 or 5 guys, one of whom is Travis Hunter, who was the number 1 overall recruit a couple years ago. He went, instead of going to Florida State, Travis went to Jackson State with Deion. Now he's transferring to Colorado. He will be the first overall draft pick that is not a quarterback next year. He plays about 70% of the offensive snaps as a wide receiver, and he's the best corner that I maybe have ever seen in college football, but we'll see. I mean, it's a small sample size, but he is insane. He got crushed by that guy in that late hit, and now they're meeting up. There they are. They're hugging each other, and here they are talking because this dude has seen death threats.
Come on in, man.
Look at him.
Like Tampa.
So this is Travis Hunter being like, dude, it's all good. So this is a defensive back and safety. He hit him late and injured Travis Hunter. And Travis Hunter's like, yo, I mean, it was a dirty play, but Travis didn't take it personally. He was like, yeah, I mean, he got crushed, and he shouldn't have got crushed, and he didn't defend himself because it was a dirty play. But Travis Hunter taking the bull by the horns and being a bigger man about it. It is possible that he will play this week against USC. Let's go to our college football preview. Bets. Here's what I have for you based on just the internet. So Notre Dame is going to Duke. The word on the street is that they're mad, which makes sense because they got beat at home because their coach only put 10 defenders on the field, which is not what you want. Twice, apparently. So they're 5.5-point favorites on the road at Duke. That game kicks off at 6:30 p.m. Central Time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 5.5-point favorites. Love them. USC 21.5-point favorites against Colorado. They'll win by 30 if they want to. I think that Colorado will look better than they did against Oregon. It's also possible that Oregon is just like a legit national championship contender. My other bet that I like is North Carolina State. They are like underdogs, 3.5-point home underdogs against Louisville. That sounds like bullshit to me. I think they're just going to win the game outright. I don't love any of these bets, but if I were betting on college football, that's what I'd bet on. As far as big games this weekend, the most interesting one is tonight, and it's kind of a bummer. So Utah's quarterback Cam Rising has been coming back from some injury. It was ACL or AC, some sort of injury. That game is tonight at 9 p.m. It's ranked on ranked. It's 10 Utah at 19 Oregon State. Vegas clearly thinks that Cam Rising won't be playing because the Utes are 4-point underdogs at Oregon State despite being kind of a better team overall. So I think that's a quarterback situation. They only scored 14 points against UCLA, if I recall. So not a great situation without their quarterback. The big game of the day is Kansas at Texas. Kansas are like 17.5-point underdogs. I guess everybody loves Texas, but I like Texas. I don't know. Kansas is pretty good, man. I think they're pretty good. The night game, LSU and Mississippi. 7 p.m. kick, I believe, at the 6 p.m. kick. That's a big game. LSU will miss it. So Mississippi, 2.5-point underdogs at home. So that's what Vegas thinks is going to happen there. As far as ranked on ranked, there's only a couple. There are a couple that are big name on big name. Like USC Colorado will be a big one. This game is in L.A. There are like A-list celebrities coming. I believe Jay-Z's coming. I think LeBron will be there. Will Ferrell is confirmed to coming. Snoop Dogg will be there because those guys are USC guys and people want to see Deion. So it's going to be a huge, huge game. Speaking of huge games, I legitimately think the most watched NFL game of all time will be this weekend. Regular season game. Most watched regular season NFL game of all time will be this weekend in the history of cable television. So not satellite TV. On Sunday night, the most watched TV program every week, the Chiefs are playing the Jets. The Jets are a New York market. The Chiefs are super famous with Patrick Mahomes, and Taylor Swift is confirmed to maybe be there in New York City where she's from. I'm sure that this was part of the deal for them where they were like, hey, maybe you could come to the Jets game. We're playing in New York this year. Like, that would be easy. Why wouldn't she make another public appearance? She's got a movie coming out. The story's caught the world on fire. The Jets are god-awful. They have Zach Wilson. They simply refuse to make a move, and that's one of my best bets for the NFL. Kansas City is favored by 9.5. That's a joke. They should be favored by 14.5, maybe more. The Jets have a great defense, but defenses regress. They were, top 2 or 3 defenses in the NFL this year. They'll regress to being a top 10 defense, but they just can't score the ball. I mean, the offense is melting down, and you have the worst possible opponent coming in, and worse than that, you have the worst possible circumstances. This could be rock bottom for the Jets. I think I've said this earlier this week, so that's what's going on there. I don't love the board in terms of gambling this weekend. The Falcons +3 makes sense. They're at Jacksonville, 3-point underdogs on the road. I kind of like them. Bucks and Giants is interesting to me. Giants. Bucks and Saints. The over-under is 39.5. I think that the Saints missing Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield are some tough defenses. I don't know, man. It's like 4 touchdowns, five touchdowns and a couple field goals. I think it's going to be more. There's some good receivers in there. Taysom Hill. So I think I like that as a bet too. And the Bears +3.5. I kind of like the Bears to win against the Broncos. I think that the Bears are melting down, but I think they do have better players. Justin Fields looks like he sucks. They just are terrible coaches. Yeah, and they do have a bad offensive line, but I don't know, man. I think that they're gonna figure it out. Interesting games to me. The Rams and the Colts will be a fun one, but the big game of the weekend is a 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kickoff. That's Miami and Buffalo. This is like an AFC championship preview. They're in the same division. Who's going to reign supreme in the division? The Bills are 3-point home favorites, which means they're neutral site even, according to conventional thinking in this kind of stuff. I don't know what's going to happen there. The Dolphins, they scored 70 points on Denver, but Denver also kind of melted down and gave up. You got Minnesota and Carolina. Where is rock bottom for the Vikings? Are they going to beat the Panthers? 2 0-4 teams. The Panthers don't own their first overall pick. The Bears do. And not only that, but the Texans the Cardinals own the Texans pick. So we're in a situation where the NFL draft could be 2 teams picking twice in the top 4 with the Bears and the Cardinals, which is good for the Bears. They're tanking. Tank hard. And I would say that the Lincoln Riley plus Caleb Williams to Chicago rumors will start. They'll start. Well, the Caleb Williams stuff has already started. They'll start with Lincoln Riley softly this week, but next week or 2, if the Bears lose this weekend, Eberflus will be fired. I just don't know when. And speaking of coaches that will for sure be fired, where are the Chargers? Oh, they're playing the Raiders at home. That would be bad. Losing to the Raiders are bad. The Raiders are melting down. Devontae Adams and Max Crosby are trying to hold the locker room accountable. It's not working, etc. Let's move out of the NFL. It's going to be a great weekend. Bryce Harper got mad yesterday, calling out Angel Hernandez for an egregious call. Let's watch the play. The Phillies have secured a spot in the playoffs, but they're trying to win games. These classic 70s jerseys are sick. Let's watch the play. It's a check swing, and they hung him up. So it's a 3-2 count, check swing, and he called him out, and Bryce Harper said, you got to be kidding me. That ump is Angel Hernandez, the worst ump of all time. You can Google his stats. It's crazy.
He is out of this
and he just throws him out. Watch Bryce hunt him down. Watch him hunt him down.
I got to tell you, naked eye, he did not swing at that.
No, he did not. Horrible call. Just egregious.
Dusty's going to stand in.
Watch the replay.
On the bases or
He throws his shit in the crowd. Oh, well, here's the replay.
Side.
Not even close.
Oh,
Like, not
goodness.
even close. Like, not even halfway. Like, not even halfway. Angel Hernandez is an ump, and he legitimately must have blinked. He must have blinked. Oh, man. And Bryce just saying, he said after the game, it's the same thing over and over. Every year, it's the same thing. Speaking of people saying stuff in the media, here's Chiefs linebacker Willie Gay asked about what he sees on tape from the Jets offense with Zach Wilson. And watch him try to hold it together here.
When you look on tape, what
Watch
are you
it.
seeing from Zach
Watch it,
Wilson
watch it,
in
watch
their offense?
Look at him. He's like,
Damn. That was a hard question. I can't lie.
That's a hard question. I can't lie. You know why that is? Because he knows don't give him bulletin board material. He's like, damn, I don't, tough. What should I say?
The team that want to run the ball.
That was a pretty good answer. That's a pretty good answer because you can't get in trouble. You can't get in trouble, and you don't want to like make a big deal out of it. But also, you compliment him. You know, not bad. I think that was pretty good. Get out of here on this. Marquette King. was the punter for the Raiders. It was very famously one of the only black punters I've ever seen watching football for years. He's a good punter for a long time. I think he might be retired now. Not 100% sure. I don't really follow punters except for my own. He thinks that he was cut from the Raiders because he gave Mark Davis a noogie.
Yeah. So we went out, kind of got a little interesting. Yeah, kind of got a little interesting. You know what I'm saying? Hey, how you doing? Yeah. And then I finished talking to them. We all finished hanging out. And then I go back in the room or in the lobby, and I see Mark Davis. He's like, "Hey, Marquette, I see you." I'm like, "My guy, what's up?" And I gave him down, and I put him in the head. And then I kept like this.
That's a billionaire. He did that too.
Then,
Hold on. Bro, you hit him with the noogie?
I gave him a noogie.
Yeah, he's not a Raider anymore. All right, enjoy your football weekend. Back and better than ever on Monday.